Hello, I'm Jeremy, and welcome back to Jeremy U's Music Reviews. I listen to music and you hear my thoughts. As I mentioned in my Marvin's Marvelous Mechanical Museum review, I am a big fan of Tally Hall. Their music is so quirky, fun, and enjoyable. But while Tally Hall has only 2 studio albums, they have a ton of side projects, the most divisive of which is the subject of today's review, Hawaii Part 2. Hawaii Part 2 is, for my knowledge, the only studio album from Miracle Musical, a musical group created by Tally Hall frontman Joe Hawley. And when I say this album is divisive, I mean it, as the consensus for Hawaii Part 2 is split down the middle, with some loving it and others seeing it as nothing more than pretentious garbage. So let's see what I think as we delve into the expansive world of Hawaii Part 2. This cover is pretty cool. It shows a beachfront balcony drenched in black and white with a giant anglerfish in the background. It's a solid attention-grabbing cover that makes the listener want to know more. Neat stuff.
Alone at the edge of a universe humming a tune with sparkling crystal souls aglow.
Introduction to the Snow is the kind of opener where your feelings on it will basically reflect your feelings on the rest of the album. And honestly, I really love it. The production is absolutely beautiful, opening up with some beautiful pianos that wouldn't sound out of place on Neo Theater, breaks in the middle during the vocals aside from a few extra notes, and then comes back in a grand way during the climax of the song. It's absolutely fantastic production that really makes the listener want to keep going. The vocals from Joe Hawley are also absolutely beautiful. They're so heartfelt and lovely, really making the track a phenomenal listening experience. I can definitely see how these vocals could get on someone's nerves, but I honestly really enjoy this vocal performance. It's very charismatic and comforting. Solid stuff. And then we have the lyrics. This song is basically just one verse. It's a pretty good verse. The lines are very creative and interesting and also have an air of mystery, making the audience want to know more. It's really cool. Introduction to the Snow is a fantastic introduction. The production is gorgeous. The vocals rule and the lyrics are short but interesting. It does what an opening track is supposed to do. Give the listener an impression of what the album will be like and have enough mystery to get the audience to want to know more. An absolutely great start.
It was the night we had to part. We were afraid to miss the start. What did it matter? Why would it matter?
Isle Unto Thyself is a solid bop. The production is very fun and toe-tapping, starting off with some nice pianos and then going into an infectious and catchy drum riff, as well as some clever little touches to make the song work even better. It's incredibly catchy production that really makes the song an enjoyable listen. And the backup vocals are very pleasant sounding and add to the atmosphere of the song. Joe Hawley is also great. His performance is both very soft and enjoyably passionate, combining with the production to give the song an enjoyably theatrical flair. It's not as good as his performance in Introduction to the Snow, but it's still a fun and engaging performance that really makes the song pop. An overall fantastic vocal performance that makes a great song even better. The lyrics are also really cool. They essentially have 2 meanings. One meaning being an abstract love story, with the islands being metaphorical, or a literal interpretation, with the islands being actual islands. It's a very interesting lyrical concept that really fits the vibe of the album, and is executed very well. Isle Unto Thyself is a very infectious and enjoyable track that does a good job building off the momentum of Introduction to the Snow. The production slaps, Joe Hawley kills it, and the lyrics rule. Like Introduction, this track is definitely an acquired taste, but one that I really vibe with. Great start so far. Black Rainbows is another solid track. The production is really snazzy and groovy, with a really satisfying melody, cool chanting, enjoyable xylophones, cool twinkles, and other awesome touches. It's really cool production that adds to the eccentric feel of the song, and sounds really good to boot. Not the best production of the album, but still really solid. The vocals are also great. Unlike the previous two tracks, which have been Joe Hawley's solo joints, Maddie Diaz joins this track, and she does a great job. Her soft and nice sounding voice really fits Hawaii Part 2's theatrical aesthetic well, and adds to the charm of the overall experience. It's a solid vocal performance that makes the song pop. And then we have the lyrics. These lyrics are cool. They're essentially about the protagonists of the song demonstrating their love for each other through the colors of the rainbow. It's a really interesting concept, and I like how some of the lyrics are in Hawaiian. That part's very cool. Cool lyrics for a cool song. Black Rainbows is a very interesting and enjoyable track. The production is cool, the vocals are nice, and the lyrics are very interesting. Not my favorite track from the album, but still a track that's a solid listen. Great start so far.
Fate decides how these columns align, birth by chance or benign.
White Ball is a really good track. The production is absolutely fantastic, with some really nice strings, a classic orchestral vibe, thudding percussion, and awesome pianos. It's a very enjoyable production that really captures the theatrical vibe of the album, and sounds great to boot. The vocals are also great. Zubin Seji and Stephanie Koenig give very nice performances, sounding really nice on their own, and combining to work well with each other. They also gel together with the production to create a lovely and unique sound that really makes the song stick out in a good way. Really solid and enjoyable vocals. As for the lyrics, they're also really cool. The lyrics to the song are basically a sort of continuation of the themes of Isle Unto Thyself, analyzing the afterlife using incredibly poetic and wistful comparisons. Not only does this fit the aesthetic of the album, but it's also really interesting and complex. There's a lot of layers to White Ball, with even the title being a double meaning, referring to both an actual ball at a ballroom or the moon. Neat stuff. White Ball is a really cool track. The production is solid, the vocals are nice, and the lyrics are great. It really demonstrates this album's theatrical flair in a unique way and is a solid listen. Great song.
I was in the middle ground, looking to find the flowers in the garden, wearying of the hate me not, wait, they forgot. Whoa, oh, the rot.
Murders is a really cool song. The production is very infectious and hard-hitting, starting off with some enjoyably heavy pianos, and then going into a more soft rendition before coming back even harder, and then quieting down for the finale. It's easily some of the album's best production, and makes the song incredibly infectious and cool. Joe Hawley's voice is also very nice. It's incredibly calming, but also has a tinge of a threatening aura. It's a really cool performance that combines with the production to make the song both mysterious and calming at the same time. It's a really cool vocal performance that gives the song a lot of atmosphere and mystique. Neat stuff. And then we have the lyrics. They're pretty cool. The way these lyrics describe the narrator's guilt is genuinely interesting, and give the song a lot of intrigue. They're not the best lyrics of the album, but they're still pretty cool and enjoyable. Murders is a great track. The production is awesome, Joe Hawley's voice is awesome, and the lyrics are very cool. Murders is just an overall really cool, mysterious track that does a great job fitting in line with what the album's going for, and is just an all-around fantastic track. So far, so good.
それは大地を残すことは無理我々は天国から出発
Space Station Level 7 is a solid vibe. The production is very relaxing and soothing, with lovely spacey synths, cool drums, and a nice feel. It's nowhere near as good as the production for songs like White Ball or Isle into Thyself, but it's still pretty solid production nonetheless. The vocals are also pretty good. They're very reminiscent of Taken for a Ride from Marvin's Marvelous Mechanical Museum, having that same kind of synthetic, robotic delivery. And like with that song, it works really well. The vocals combined with the production to give Space Station Level 7 a relaxing vibe that perfectly contrasts off Murder's intense vibe. It's a pretty solid and enjoyable performance. As for lyrics, they're alright. Most of them are in a foreign language, so they're hard to comment on, but overall, these lyrics are decently written and work with the vibe of the song. Space Station's Level 7 is a pretty good track. The production is relaxing, the vocals are cool, and the lyrics, while somewhat hard to understand, are pretty decent and well written. Far from the best song of the album, but still an enjoyable track nonetheless. Not bad.
Of these thoughts as limitless light, exposing, closing, circuitry to fight.
The Mind Electric is a pretty cool track. Let's start with the most obvious thing about it, the backwards gimmick. See, the first half of the Mind Electric composes of the entirety of the second half of the song, but played backwards. And while I could definitely see someone finding that annoying and tacky, I personally think it's really cool. Backwards audio has always been a fascinating concept to me, and to see a song take advantage of it like this is genuinely really interesting and cool. And on top of that, it sounds great. The production is incredibly atmospheric and catchy, with an energetic and spooky computer-style sound, with some really catchy orchestral flares. It's easily some of the album's best production, and really makes a great impression. The vocals are also great. There are so many crazy vocal filters, from regular human to robotic filters to somewhere in between, and they all sound really good. And both the backwards and regular lyrics are really creative and unique. Basically, TME is about a person condemned to the electric chair, and these lyrics serve as a stream of consciousness detailing their thoughts. Not only is this a very interesting lyrical premise, but it's also executed in a very cool way that fits the album's aesthetic. Great lyrics. The Mind Electric is a song you'll either love or hate, and I love it. The production is cool, the vocals rule, the lyrics are interesting, and the premise and gimmick are both fascinating. Definite album highlight, but one that's definitely an acquired taste.
Just bump my head and my face turns purple. Running through hurdles, running in circles, trying to escape from this thing that I fear. Everything seems clear, like the end is near. In the rear, I can see the beast getting close, surrounded by ghosts in the cloud of smoke.
Labyrinth is alright. The production is really cool with some glitchy video game sounds, a toe-tapping rhythm, and an enjoyable production. It's definitely not as complex or grand as some of the other production of Hawaii Part 2, but it's pretty effective nonetheless. The vocals are also good. Kay and Shane Mao both do good jobs, with Kay having a fun rap flow and Shane giving a nice sounding hook. They're two great vocal performances that bounce off each other really well. As for the lyrics, they're also pretty good. Despite feeling musically different from the album's other tracks, Labyrinth does focus on similar themes, such as death, panic, personal turmoil, and the meaning of life. Pretty solid lyrics for a pretty solid song. Labyrinth is a decent tune that takes an interesting musical departure from the rest of the album. Production's good, vocals are solid, and the lyrics are interesting. Far from the best song on HP2, but a good track nonetheless. Not bad.
I await for all eternity. Is where we must stay.
Time Machine is a really cool bop. The production is very catchy and fun, with an enjoyable groovy melody, fun percussion, an awesome piano line, and a really fun energy. It's pretty solid production that makes the song come alive. The vocals are also great. They have the same robotic vocal filters on Tally Hall's Taken for a Ride, and while not as great as that song, they're still pretty effective and combined with the production to make the song an enjoyable bop. Solid vocals for a solid track. And the lyrics are also really cool. They're basically about a person who's reflecting on how bad their life has become and are using a time machine to go back in time. It's a pretty cool premise that fits with HP2's aesthetic, and the lyrics are good in their own right, having an interesting lyrical style and some interesting bits of personality. Great lyrics all around. Overall, Time Machine is a solid track. The production is cool, the vocals rule, and the lyrics are very interesting. Not amazing, but definitely a song on the album worth listening to. Neat stuff.
Aimless thoughts and papers blown around. A million moments meant remembered rest in deep dark sound.
Stranded Lullaby is insanely cool. The production is incredibly atmospheric and relaxing, with some lovely pianos, nice strings, and an overall soft vibe that perfectly captures the lullaby part of the title. It's easily the most relaxing song of the album, although Introduction to the Snow definitely is a close second. Absolutely S-tier production. Joe Hawley also sounds beautiful. His relaxing voice combines with the heavenly production and makes Stranded Lullaby a fantastic piece of audio. He just sounds so soft, breezy, and chill, really giving the viewer a sense of calm and relaxation. Easily one of his best performances in the record. The lyrics are also really good. They have that unique Hawaii Part 2 aesthetic, being incredibly elaborate, creative, interesting, and full of symbolism. They're very interesting lyrics that perfectly fit the vibe of the song and tie into a lot of its themes. Stranded Lullaby is just an incredible track. The production is fantastic, Joe sounds amazing, and the lyrics are cool. It's an incredibly relaxing, lovely track that really puts me at ease. An absolute album highlight for an absolutely fantastic album. Great song, check it out.
We'll go together in flight. It's now and never, or every endeavor.
And so we end Hawaii Part 2 with the 11th and final track, Dream Suite in C major. And my god, what a great way to go out. The production is absolutely gorgeous with incredible pianos, nice guitars, a soothing vibe, cool drums, and some other awesome touches. It's incredible production that really makes the song pop in an incredible way. Absolutely fantastic production. And Joe Hawley sounds fantastic. His voice is incredibly soft and lovely, gelling with the production in a fantastic way. It's definitely one of his best vocal performances, at least on this album, and really makes the song a great listen. And then we have the lyrics. These lyrics are an absolutely perfect send-off for HP2. It starts with a reprise of Introduction to the Snow, with some slight tweaks to enhance Dream Suite's meaning, and then goes on to tell the story of a lonely sailor giving himself up to mermaids. It's a really cool lyrical premise that gels together with the vibe of the rest of this album and really makes everything come together. Fantastic lyrics to a fantastic song. Dream Suite in C major is an absolutely fantastic closer. The production is versatile and relaxing, Joe Hawley sounds incredible, and the lyrics are absolutely fantastic. Like with the Mind Electric, I can definitely see some people not vibing with this song, but I personally really like how calming, unique, and cool it is, both as a closing track and as a song on its own. An absolutely fantastic end to a pretty solid album. I can definitely see why this album is so divisive. It's very theater kid-esque and experimental, having grand concepts, cursive vocals, surreal lyrics, and production that's either Broadway-esque or vibey and calming. And if that's not your aesthetic, you're definitely going to be irritated by this album. But since I'm fond of HP2's aesthetic, I personally thought it was pretty good. While I wouldn't put it above albums like Neo Theater, the Normal Album, or even Tally Hall's own Marvin's Marvelous Mechanical Museum, Hawaii Part 2 is a very ambitious, immersive, and unique album that I really respect. It tackles so many fascinating concepts, from death and mortality, to personal growth, to the afterlife, to so much more. And it does so in a fairly interesting, complex, and entertaining way. If anything from this album interested you, give it a shot, as it's genuinely very interesting and cool. And while I'm not head over heels in love with Hawaii Part 2, I definitely really enjoy its quirkiness, ambition, and Broadway flair, and definitely plan on returning to it on occasion. Solid job, Miracle Musical. And that's it. Comment your thoughts on this album and tune in for more content coming soon. Till then, this is Jeremy ending our broadcast day. Toodles!